Now, looking at this policy, and again, you're the Managing Director of the Livestock Collective, but you've also been a veterinarian, I believe, for about 15 years and 10 years in the live export industry. So tell us what's happened in terms of the policy. What's it based on?
Well, when Labor took out this policy, so many things have changed, and it's not based on science, it's not based on economics or even the independent report that's been put forward to the Minister, and it's going to have devastating impacts on rural WA. I mean, yesterday we saw those impacts when people from across WA did a 20-kilometre rally with 1,700 vehicles and over 3,000 people. And these weren't just farmers, they were small business owners, truck drivers, shearers, maybe, people that would typically vote Labor were standing against this policy because it doesn't make sense. It's not based on science and it will decimate rural communities. And it was, really, sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, when you say it's not based on science, with your background, what can you tell us about the fact that it's not based on science from your opinion?
So we've had significant improvements across the industry. We're not exporting sheep at a certain time of year where there was a risk of heat stress, and that was some of the issues that led to Labor taking out its policy. And they've really failed to acknowledge the changes that have been made. And so if an industry does all the changes possible, we've had increased space available so all the animals can, lie down at once, access feed and water. There's veterinarians and stock people on board. There's been improvement in ventilation systems, improvement in the types of vessels used, technology and automation in reporting, so the regulator sees real time what's happening on board. So we've had all these significant changes, and the biggest one is the outcomes of the voyages. So 99.9% of animals getting off at the other end in excellent health, and our importers really welcoming the health of the animals arriving, and that's their food security. And the demand for live animals is high across the world, and Australia does it really well. So to be the world leader in animal welfare and actually be able to help improve welfare in the other countries, to then remove ourselves from that market, it just doesn't make sense, and they've failed to acknowledge the changes made.
So we are hearing that Australia is world standard, the highest or one of, but what are we seeing overseas, and what are other countries perhaps learning from us?
Well, Australia's invested, and Australian farmers have levies invested internationally in market access, and some of that has gone into animal welfare training and infrastructure improvements all around the world. And places like Southeast Asia, where we've had a huge impact in improving animal welfare standards, and that has flowed onto their local animals. And likewise, the Middle East, our long-term investment in those markets, which has been, producers' levies and funds, has meant that we've had significant incremental improvement in those supply chains, in the way animals are handled, the way animals are processed. And that's long-term culture change that we don't want to, lose that investment and that market access for, preference deals and bad policy.
And have we seen a decline at all in this practice?
A decline in
the live sheep practice? Like, have we seen numbers decline here and overseas at all?
Yeah, that has been one comment made, and the supply demand is based on prices and season, and Australia's just come off the back of having record high sheep prices, and then we helped recover the drought numbers in Victoria. So the nuances of the decline aren't based on demand. There's places like Saudi Arabia who have just started importing sheep from Australia again. They buy up to 5 million live animals a year, and we've lost that market access over 10 years ago because of our regulatory system being so tight, and we've just regained that market access. And they could easily take 1 million sheep from Western Australia a year. So there is a lot of demand, but Australia has got very tight regulatory standards which almost restrict how much we can export.
And just finally, Holly, we're hearing that this ban could set a precedent for other industries. Would you agree with that statement? And if so, what are your concerns?
I think what we saw at the rally yesterday with the Keep the Sheep campaign launching and 28,000 people signing a petition was that this is a line in the sand for agriculture. If an industry can do absolutely everything asked of it and still be closed down, this sets a dangerous precedent for all industries, not just agriculture. So I think the support we've garnered in a space of 48 hours is a clear demonstration to the government that this policy is wrong and needs to be reviewed.
Managing Director of the Livestock Collective and veterinarian Holly Ludemann, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.